Welcome, everybody. We're going to give it a minute or so to let people join, and then we'll get started.
Hello.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. This is a great opportunity for us to just be able to share with our clients and our partners a review of the year and kind of our accomplishments and what we've done to help our clients be successful in 2024 and kind of a look ahead. So just a quick introduction to myself. My name is Brittany Carroll. I am the channel partner manager at Iris. I've been on the sales team for 3 years now. And really my main focus is growing strong distributor partnerships and providing our clients with kind of multi-level support that they need to succeed. So today we're going to be highlighting the year of growth that we've had and how we support our clients. And so you're going to hear directly from our different team members on the solutions that we've deployed and some of the biggest impacts that we've had for our clients. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Carl. He's our Director of Sales. He's been instrumental in driving tailored solutions and supporting our customers' success over the past 5 years that he's been with Iris. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Carl.
Good morning, and thank you, Brittany, for the introduction. I am Carl Koenigsberger. I'm the Director of Sales and have been with Iris for the past 5 years. Have been in and around packaging for the better part of the past 15 years, and am excited to share with the crowd today what we feel is the best and most complete portfolio of end-of-line packaging solutions available on the market. So to start off with some of our standard solutions here, just to kind of give a baseline for our product offerings, we are very excited that in 2024 we finalized what we feel is the most complete and scalable offering of pre-engineered pallet. So the Rebel Pack portfolio spans from our entry-level lightweight cobalt palletizers up to industrial continuous operation palletizers, and finally with our fully automatic pallet handling solutions, and those are available to be integrated with your favorite structure. We feel that our catalog of solutions is really different from any other series on the market in that its programming interface is identical regardless of palletizer configuration. So this is really no different for the end user on the factory floor than their experience with consumer electronics, where on a cellular phone or a tablet or on a desktop PC, they all kind of host a common consumer application operating system interface that looks and feels familiar. It makes it simple and approachable. So a lot of times we'll have clients, especially in the contract fulfillment space, that do have, we'll call it variable production outputs and maybe different types of packages. And having a scalable catalog of technology allows them to marry up their technical requirement with a technology that's not overpaced, not over-engineered, not under-engineered, but in fact, it's just right for the application within a user experience that's the common thread that binds it all. So ultimately, our family of palletizers delivers on the core value drivers for the manufacturer, and those being the speed to labor relief by leveraging an off-the-rack design that doesn't need to take weeks upon weeks upon weeks in mechanical design and programming, and it's an approachable and informative user experience in a sleek design, and it's in a completely unified programming ecosystem. So what we have on the screen here is, it looks like maybe we have we have a broken image, but a cobot palletizer, an industrial continuous operation palletizer, and then a couple of examples of our fully automatic pallet handling solutions. One which is an over-under configuration that we call our Pinnacle, and the other is in a linear configuration which we call our SL, which you can easily hand off onto, again, your favorite stretcher. So as we move on to our next slide, we'll maybe touch on one of the more exciting standard product offshoots, which was a product that we are bringing to market and we feel will deliver a lot of value to a lot of clients. And it was born of, at a surface level, a pretty common request. It was single-digit cases per minute, minimal floor space, a remote manufacturing facility with limited technical competencies, and a requirement for an approachable user experience. So in other words, a great fit for an Iris co-op pallet. But the caveat to the specific scope is it was for a dairy manufacturer whose end of line happened to be in the same room as a caustic washdown machinery, and it needed to withstand some occasional splash of water, maybe some residual cooling of moisture. And so for this client, we took as our baseline our RPZ-20 cobot palletizer. And we really kind of developed a ground-up design with continuous weld, stainless steel fabrication to withstand the cold, wet environment, hygienic design, NEMA 4X control panel, an elevated platform to provide a barrier between the pallet position and the floor, and a mobile docking station so that we could have our client remove the moneymaker to get the main chassis in and out during their sanitation procedures. So we feel this is an unlock for the client that's typically been constrained to traditional automation, which is not IP69, which is not stainless steel. And so we're very excited about it because we do think that those folks whose plant floors sometimes happen to pool water, some of the facilities are quite old in nature, and they've historically been reluctant to invest in high-tech automation that's quite sensitive to wet environments, will find this to be a drop-in and a complement to their labor relief initiatives. So with that, I will pass the torch. I thank you all for your time today.
Great. Hey, everybody. My name is Rob Fell. I'm the founder and president of Iris. Thanks for joining us today. I know it's close to the holiday season. I think everyone's getting to the point where they're ready to be at Christmas parties like ours tonight and relaxing a little bit here. So thanks for your attention. We'll try to make it worthwhile. As Carl touched on, we kind of grew up around a few different things. Machine vision inspection, which still compromises about 30% of our business or so, and then end-of-line packaging systems. And in that, primarily robotic case packing, palletizing, and some kind of custom and semi-custom products in and around that. So what we want to share a little bit about today is what we feel like are larger wins this year and really some projects that even carried over from last year. So the first one here is what we're calling our mixed pack system. So, Carl touched on one of the things that we do really well is we standardize our products. We double down on a platform that is unique from the perspective that it's a small footprint and it's a great user interface and it's fast to deploy and it's easy to support. And then most of our clients then say, great, we've worked with you guys for years. We love your standard products, but we have this thing, we haven't been able to solve it. It would be an unlock for us. Can you use some of your competency in robotics and machine vision and traceability and actually come up with a modified version or consolidated version of a few different pieces of equipment and produce something that's really different? So this mixed pack system was an excellent example of that. I know it's hard to cram all this on a small screen, but fundamentally what it was two depalletizing systems, two repalletizing systems, and then a central mixing area. And the challenge that we were faced with was this client was bringing in, up to, I think, 17 temp workers a day, and they couldn't actually even staff it once they distributed those people to where they needed them in the plant otherwise. This project kind of went unattended to, and they had a really hard time consistently staffing it However, it was a very important workflow for them because they were serving the big box stores. They were serving, Aldi and Costco and Sam's Club and the like. And essentially, at the basis of the application was, how do I take whip product that is single cases, single flavors, and deconstruct those, put them back into a mixed pack, and then repalletize those at the back end, and which manually is very manually intensive. It's I don't want to say go so far as to say dangerous, but certainly it's repetitive. It's high weight. It's all kinds of the foundational things for issues with a workman's comp type claim. So this was part safety, part labor, part the fact that they just couldn't get it done. So what we came in and said, let's take what we know best, palletizing, depalletizing, and robotics, and come up with a system that on the front end took AI-based vision inspection to inspect single flavor whip pallets, which anyone doing whip pallets knows those are not typically constructed all that consistently. So, we had to design a system that was dynamic and that could handle a bunch of different products with the same or similar end of arm tooling. So we have these 4 inputs on the front end being served by 2 robots, and we can receive up to 4 different flavors. What we do is we depalletize each of those 4 flavors in the order that central mixing asks for them. So it's a smart system. We send them into central mixing. We decase that product, singulate it into single lanes. And then in that central mixing area, we've got 12, 20 kilogram Scara robots that are then remixing those into the flavor packs that are required by that particular recipe, recasing them into the same cartons and trays that we took, or trays and cases that we took them out of, and then sending them back down to be repalletized now in their new reconfigured flavor format. And one of the coolest things about this is, you know no one had done this, right? Our customer came to us, they trusted us, they challenged us, and it was tough. I mean, it was a rough application, but at the end of the day, the system's up and running, and they're happy with it. And it was an unlock for them, and they're already starting to look at this for other parts of their business. And this is something that really has kind of large reaching scale implications, because there's a lot of people who do this. And being as though the system is closed loop, we're reusing the pallets, we're reusing the product, we're reusing the trays. Once you prime the system, all you have to do is put product on the front end in terms of whip and take full pallets off the back end. All the trays, all the pallets, everything in between just continues to get reused. So it's really a pretty incredible system. We've got a sub 20-minute changeover into fundamentally different products. We can do this with a large can product. We're doing it with a lighter carton product. We're doing it with a kind of a cocoa base, like a heavy bottom, thin carton product. So there's some real differences in the format of the product. And at the end of the day, we do what we do best, which was take what we know, get in a room, come up with something smart, and turn it into something special, which is what we did here. So Meg, Britt, sorry, if you want to jump ahead. So that was a version of something that we took standard and made custom. This is something that we started custom and made standard. So we were challenged by one of our largest customers to be able to produce a line side, kind of a quality assurance system based on barcode scanning or light machine vision capabilities for the purposes of traceability, to make sure that products weren't commingling on their manufacturing lines. So what we did is produced what I believe to be one of the most compact and full-featured code inspection systems currently on the market. So we call it the Guardian system. Within a platform that's approximately 9 inches wide, can mount directly to a FlexLink style conveyor, and probably about 20 inches tall. We have the HMI, the PLC, the barcode scanner, the trigger sensor, and a pneumatic or brake-based reject mechanism, all built into that one unit. So for any customer today which is most all of them, what we found, facing traceability issues, what you'd be prone to do is say, oh, that's not a big deal. Let me go buy a barcode reader, and then I'll interface it into my PLC, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And by the time you get into that, you're 6 months into a project that's this big that probably doesn't work quite as well as you want it to, when in reality, you can pick up one of these units relatively cost effectively. It bolts on and installs mechanically, and literally the bolt on part of it is you'd have this thing attached in, sub 20 minutes minus whatever rail modifications you need to do. And then this is a version that's looking down to the top of a cup, but we also have versions of this for cases and cartons that look from the side, from the top, or even 360. So we have a variety of different tooling that will actually adapt to the system to be able to look at cups and cartons and pouches and cases and all the things that would be traditional on a packaging line. It has automatic recipe storage, so you can go ahead and auto scan a new recipe. And because it has a PLC on board, it has the ability to communicate back to other pieces of equipment to reconcile whatever you're running and have the ability to integrate there. From a speed perspective, we're scanning up to 1,200 products a minute. So in terms of high speed capabilities, we can do that. This particular unit is powder coated. If we needed to, we could certainly produce this in a stainless steel version as well. So, this is a new release for us. I would say, of the 15 people that have seen it, whoever's on this call is probably 14 of them. But we're really excited about the way this is going to roll out this year and really be a benefit to our customers to have a quick deployment, low cost, highly functional system that solves a real problem in terms of brand integrity threats. Cool. So I'm going to turn it over back over to Brittany. Brittany's going to talk a little bit about how we go to market. As a company, it's really important that you can make great equipment. You can be willing to modify that equipment, but making sure that you've got a strong national and international channel to distribute and support your products is really, really important. So I'll let Brittany get into it a little bit, but appreciate all the time you guys took to listen. We're obviously pretty passionate about our stuff. Any questions that you have, you can reach out to anyone on the panel here today. And I hope at the end of this, we have the opportunity to have a little bit of dialogue and hear some feedback from you all. So thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Rob. So yeah, our channel partners, kind of diving a little bit into who they are and what we've done this year. So in 2024, we, in collaboration with our trusted partners, we achieved pretty significant growth with multiple successful deployments across the United States. So I was pretty excited about that. Go ahead and move to the next slide here. Our distributors really ensure on-site assistance, spare parts availability, also localized support. They have technical expertise that really helps our clients in their automation needs. So, the partners that we have developed over the last couple of years really do kind of fall into that category to have that expertise from an automation perspective to support our clients with boots on the ground. As we move into 2025, our distributor network remains committed to driving innovation, reliability, and growth for our customers. So that's really important. All of our partners really are striving to provide solutions tailored to their customers' needs. And so we do appreciate all of the sales folks that I've worked with this year that have really driven that growth. So also in 2024, Iris continued to build strong partnerships with our key automation suppliers. So we really have brought together the best technologies to deliver innovative solutions for our customers. So really from robotics to vision systems, we rely on these experts and kind of industry experts to support our initiatives to drive these new solutions. So these are some of the partnerships that I wanted to showcase, and we're really happy that we've chosen to work with these different robot suppliers and vision companies as well. You see a whole array of different suppliers here that have really driven our success throughout the year.
Yeah, Brendan, if you don't mind just me saying one thing real quick here. One of the things that's really important about this is that what we say is, semi-custom and custom systems based on, top tier brands that are readily available. So in terms of value proposition to our clients, really where we're moving to is by having a good channel, we have local support in all corners of the country. And by partnering with major brands, we make sure that from an availability perspective, after we get our equipment up in the field, we want to make sure that it's running because that's when it's going to serve our clients the most value. So if we can use household brands and make sure that you guys are well outfitted, in terms of post-sale support and spare parts, which we're going to talk about next, it really fulfills that next level of support, which is making sure that you're staying running and you can count on what's under the hood in terms of the brands that we're using and the partners that they're leveraging to help support the systems locally.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Megan. Megan is our key account manager. So she really works closely with our customers to provide post-sale support, ensuring that they have the access to spare parts, aftercare support, and continuous learning opportunities. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Meg.
You're muted, Meg.
I can unmute you.
Brittany's so powerful. She holds the gate to the muting.
I saw that I was muted early on. Hi everyone, I'm Megan. I started at Iris back in May of last year. My role was really to help the sales team with new business development, application onboarding. I was really new to the industry in general, so I was picking up on, understanding how the industry works and things like that. And in that role, I realized that what I really love most is just supporting our customers. I was taking on a lot of like spare part requests from customers and even like support requests and things like that. So I just kind of organically evolved into this this kind of whole role and department, and I'm really excited about the growth that it's bringing to the company. I think what I enjoy most about this role and what I think is most unique is my ability to bridge the gap between engineering and the end user in order to advocate for our customers' success long after their solution is installed. So it's been really exciting for me, and I'm happy to talk about what we've been up to this year. If you want to move to the next slide. Oh, you already did. Great. Okay. Oh no, the slide before, I'm sorry. Okay, so my main focus is streamlining and standardizing support for our customers, and spare parts is a huge piece of the puzzle. In early 2024, we invested in a new ERP system that went live mid-year, and it's really allowed us to streamline project management and our ordering process in general. It's also allowed us to harness an inventory strategy that's actually increased our speed to market and allows us to support our customer spare part strategies. So we basically maintain a minimum level of inventory of all components used on our standard systems. We also provide a full bill of materials for all projects. For all projects to help our customers decide on what they'd like to house themselves. So what does this mean for everyone? Basically, it's peace of mind that you have access to ancillary components in case of emergency. And then if you want to move on to the next. So we've actually seen an uptick in customers entering into support agreements with us this year, which is great because it tells us that customers now more than ever are budgeting for preventative maintenance to avoid unexpected downtime. I think something we can all agree on is that planned spending is a much more reliable approach than emergency spending, especially when you're talking about an automation solution that your throughput relies on. So with this program, we bundle expert-led system audits, continuous learning visits, priority level troubleshooting with clear deliverables and a service level agreement that essentially ensures your equipment and team are experiencing optimal operational standards. As for deliverables with this program, we address maintenance requirements. We equip the personnel with knowledge, tools, and support. And then the end goal is they're basically independent. They're able to independently maintain, operate, and troubleshoot with confidence between visits. This is basically aimed to combat challenges associated with employee turnover, loss of skill set, and general deferred maintenance that can occur when facilities go through staffing issues. The goal is really to provide resources that cover a multitude of hurdles that our customers could potentially be dealing with. So the idea is just to be proactive and to make sure you're not waiting for an emergency situation to take place to actually deal with the issue. So to kind of have a plan in place to minimize downtime. And then we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so here we're gonna just do a brief overview of our support portal. So this is actually another one of my larger focuses. So our support portal allows us to leverage data. We also, we route whether it's we ask our customer to put a ticket in, or if they reach out to us with some troubleshooting issue, I will go ahead and put that ticket in. But the goal is to streamline the support. So if we can document what the customer is going through, we assign a resource to address the issue, and then we take that data and we use it to provide training material. That's another thing that I'm working on. We've been, putting together training material for troubleshooting, general operation, just really to improve upon our customers' ability to really operate the machines on their own, troubleshoot the machines on their own. And so this is like the place where they can submit a ticket. They can also access documentation, so user manuals, videos, just really to help them be autonomous in their ability to, run their systems and troubleshoot and things like that. And that's
Yeah,
all
Meg,
I
if I can
got.
jump in for just a second. So
Yeah.
that was perfect actually. And guys, in the spirit of like what's coming in 2025, Meg said it perfectly that there's really two things that we're focusing on from a support perspective. It's speed to response and it's customer autonomy. We don't want you to have to call us. We want to respond really quick when you do, but we want to make sure that we provided you with the proactive approach to support and training. We want your staff to understand how to operate the equipment. We want local visual tools that are available, resident on the system, training videos and one-point lessons and things like that. So, there's a lot of OEMs and machine builders that, one of their main focuses is really their service business and turning that into a big profit center. For us, our service business is really focused on empowering our clients to make sure that you have the tools available at your disposal. We'd love it if you never called us, and I say that in the most polite way, other than if you wanted more equipment, because we've outfitted you with all the things that you needed from a content perspective. And then we've made these very strategic visits to your facility through these service level agreements to make sure your equipment is running as intended. And we've gotten ahead of any things that could be issues in terms of maybe it's a recipe that needs a little tweaking or some items that are starting to wear a little bit. So this is really, really critical for us. In addition to our continued innovation for 2025, as far as new products go, it's really a focus on making sure that we're supporting our customers even better and empowering them to make decisions on their own to keep their equipment running. Because it doesn't matter if it sits on your floor and doesn't run. It has to run. It has to run 24/7, and it has to run at the rate that it was intended to run. So, as we talk about this transition into 2025, us organizationally, I always, I've been in automation for 25 years. I know that seeing our company through the eyes of our customers is how we continue to be of better value. And what I know in 2025, what's going to help take us there is speed to deployment, speed to support, and in creating customer autonomy and empowerment. So I think in addition to those strategies, what you're going to find is a continued evolution of our product offering that's going to expand to tackle other things that are really fundamental to the manufacturing floor that other people haven't tackled yet. Things like the Guardian system that can be a quick deployment, low cost, highly flexible item. We're looking at developing case inspection systems based on the use of AI, where you can look at things like case quality and us kind of pushing upstream a little bit to say we've already got palletizing nailed, we've already got specialized case packing nailed. How do we go even further to help our customers to ensure that good product is making its way off the line, that we're helping them with any traceability issues, and that we're having that information available to share with them? Because the other thing that we do really well is we harvest information from our systems and we make it very usable to be able to kind of ascertain what's going on the line. So if you think about it, you think of palletizing, for example, sort of a dumb piece of equipment. And it is to some extent, right? In its core function, it takes boxes and it puts it on pallets. But the other thing it's the very last source of truth on your line to tell you what's actually coming off. So as we, leverage our traceability and our robotics experience, we combine that with the data collection side to produce user interface experience that's very data driven, very informational. So now you can actually, start to improve as you look at your OEE. You can start to look at, more than just production. You can look at more than just availability, more than just quality. You look at all of it together now in one comprehensive piece, and it's because we're affording you the opportunity to take all that information and do something about it. So that's what you're going to see in 2025. We're going to continue to be a better vendor for our clients. It's not BS. It's not a tagline. We kind of live it and breathe it, and people get tired of hearing about it here. I have very high expectations for myself, my organization, and my team, and they know it. And we're hoping our customers are going to continue to feel that in 2025. So, with that, I'd love to open it up to questions. If there's anything that we can address for you, we would
We have
love
one
to.
more part too, Rob,
Oh yeah,
that I do want to highlight here before we open it up to questions too.
you bet.
Um, so we're thrilled to partner with MSI Express. MSI Express is a leading contract manufacturer, and they have chosen to automate their palletizing. So they currently have 6 palletizers, Iris palletizers, within 2 of their facilities, and they have plans to expand outside of Illinois as well. So earlier this year, we had the opportunity to meet with Mike Riley, who is the VP of Engineering from MSI, and to learn more about their experience with partnering with Iris. So his insights highlighted how automation has positively impacted their operations. And we're excited to share these details in an upcoming article and some videos that we're going to be sharing and publishing in early 2025. So really, partnering with contract manufacturers like MSI have been a key factor in the success of Iris RPZ palletizing line. These systems really are designed to adapt to these unique needs of our clients and offering flexibility and ease of use that's really required for a lot of contract manufacturers. As we look to the future, we're really just excited to continue to grow alongside MSI Express as well as our other clients. And our goal is really to empower these manufacturers with innovative solutions that can make their operations smarter, work more efficient, and be more productive. So, so I guess now we can open it up to everybody. Here's our contact information. Feel free to reach out to any of us with questions or applications you'd like to take a look at, but I'd love to open it up, and if you want to drop a question in the chat, feel free. I do have one question in here. Can the palletizers do deep palletizing on its own?
Yeah, I can actually answer that. So there's yes, is the short answer. There's 2 different ways. So depending on how consistent the pallets are and what the packaging is like, there's cases where we can do depalletizing without any type of inspection. If the pallets are somewhat inconsistent and the product isn't consistently placed, we may have to incorporate an inspection system, similar to what we did for the system that I showed you originally. We actually use a 3D scanning system that gives you an X, a Y, a Z, and a theta. And the benefit of that is that we could actually determine what we would do is remove a case, scan, remove a case, scan. So every case, every layer, we could tell exactly where it was at. And in that case, it was really critical because our end of arm tool was highly flexible. It's kind of a big spatula that came under and clamped the product. And the reason we did that is because we had handle a lot of open top trays. So yes, we can do depalletizing. It would just depend on how consistent the product is in terms of what our approach would be. And we can do it with our industrial line, or we can do it with our collaborative line as well, just depending on reach and payload and things like that.
Great. No other questions yet.
You guys got to ask questions, otherwise we're going to start making up fake questions, and you're going to have to sit and listen to it. So, what about maybe someone, if there's someone from an end user perspective, it would be great to get a question kind of from your perspective of, like what's important, when you look at your vendors for 2025, maybe asking something in the line of, how can our vendors be, how can your vendors be better for you? Like I said, I always try to see things through the eyes of the customer. And, when we sit organizationally and we say, oh, I wonder this, I wonder that, I'm like, well, let's go ask, right? Let's get out to our clients and let's go ask them what their opinion is. So if anyone's willing to provide us a question from an end user perspective, it would be appreciated. If not, no big deal. But if you could, that'd be great.
I do have a question. How many cases per minute on the mix pack system?
It varied on basically on the platform. So at our peak, we were putting through like 18 cases a minute of a trade product, and that's end to end. And as far as like that was in bursts, I would say our highest requirement on that system that we met was in the like 12 to 14 cases a minute range. So I would say that's pretty realistic. It really depends on the format of the product and how consistent it is. As an example, there was one product where it was highly perforated at the top. So when we acquired it, that robot had to move just a tad slower because we didn't want to drop product because of the perfs. It was really challenging to get a good draw on the top of that product. Whereas with things that are like, let's say a solid edge of a carton where there were no perfs, we could really haul with those and we could run that quite a bit faster. So, and the last part of that I didn't mention is as far as the last part of that application, there was also a situation where they said, I don't want to decase and recase. I actually just want to take a solid flavor of a solid case and I want to deconstruct 2 flavors, 3 flavors, 4 flavors, and then I want to rebuild them on the back end. So not decasing, but as the whole case of flavor A, B, and C, instead of solid pallets of A, B, C, and D, now we have a mixed palette on the back end of A, B, C, and D. So there was the kind of like this alternate requirement on there to do that as well, which I think is applicable for a lot of people. There's some people who are doing these variety cases where they're actually decasing and they want to mix, recase, repalletize. And then there's some people who say, I just want to take 4 different flavors or whatever it is, and I want to deconstruct and then repalletize those on the back end. So versions of that system could do either of those things.
Okay. Question, do you have the ability to remote connect or remote support?
Absolutely. So there's a couple different ways that we can do that. We typically suggest providing something called an E1, which is a cloud-based remote support VPN system. And what that allows us to do, different than like, you can kind of backdoor like a team viewer type thing, but it's not as advantageous because you can't actually get down into, let's say the PLC program, for example, unless that customer has the exact program that you need. So what we typically suggest is this remote VPN system through E1 where it sits in the system. And in the case where we need to get into it, we can. What I will say is what's actually been even more let's say adopted is that IT departments typically, they don't mind things going out, but they're not so keen on things coming in. So what we also have is a remote kind of like a kit version of that where we provide you a little case, and the case has the camera and it has E1 and it has cables, and what you actually do, your maintenance team would go up to the system, they would plug it in while we needed to get in. So you guys were in control of the access. We would do what we needed to do. And then you actually would unplug that unit, thereby disconnecting it from any outside access and take it back into the shop. And you'd have this little kit. The other nice thing about that is if you're like a lot of our clients where you've got more than one, you've got, 10, 15 systems on your floor, you don't have to purchase 10 or 15 E1s. When you need it, you take the case out because really, in reality, the amount of times that something's wrong to the extent that we have to get in remotely is minimal. So having one of these kits available is a nice alternative. So, and what we do is we most often bundle those with a packet of hours. So you say, okay, here's a kit, and the kit's $5,000, and it's $5,000 worth of hours, and now you've got a kit and an open PO, so it makes support quite a bit easier, or it may be part of your SLA if you go in that direction. So we've got lots of options, but the short answer is yes. That's usually what happens, honestly. Like when you look at our equipment, there's not a lot of wear items. There's not a lot of things that need to be, greased. There's not, it's kind of a simple animal, right? So what we find is when people get in a jam, it's usually it's faulty product. it's a bad button pushing exercise, it's something that gets jammed, it's something odd like that. So very rarely is it something fundamental to the system. So again, we can do it. I would say I don't, Meg would know better, but I would say, 1 out of every 10 support tickets, do we really even need to, get into the system to remote access it?
Uh,
Try to see how are you seeing the questions, Britt? I'm not,
at the top, there's a little question bubble.
yeah, I'm not getting it. So
I
that's
think it's
okay.
because she's the host.
Oh, you're the
So.
host. Okay.
How about where are Carl and Rob's ugly sweaters? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
We talk about the, yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't willing to do it. I wasn't willing to do it yesterday. Oh, Carl, you're
Well,
on.
you're muted, Carl.
Don't own ugly.
What?
Carl doesn't own any ugly clothes. He's too pretty. What else can we answer for you guys? I know everyone's probably itching to get into the rest of their week. Is there anything that we missed here, or anything that you'd like to know a little bit more about? Any even comment on the direction that we're going with some of our products in terms of focusing on traceability and flexibility? Any type of feedback on is that what you're feeling from an end user or channel partner perspective?
I think the group's
Is that it?
winding down. Yeah.
All right. I just ask questions and stare at your face, Britt, to see if there's something that comes up. Good. All right, Britt. You started it. I'll let you end it. But just a quick thank you to everybody that was on the call today. It's always fun to share our staff and our equipment that we love. So Britt, I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the sales team for being here today. And we're excited for the year ahead. So I hope everybody has a happy holiday and a happy new year. And we're excited to see you in 2025.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you.